Good morning. Hey guys, so I'm gonna start off my YouTube channel with one of my favorite topics history. India has an ancient, long, and varied history. However, this history has been hidden from most people due to the fact that colonial historians who came to India in the 18th and 17th century did not understand the history of India and as a result concluded that Indians did not record history. This was done because of two main reasons. First, they wanted to prove that Europe has had a greater civilization than any other nation before, or any other continent, or any other culture. And two, they simply did not understand the ways in which Indians recorded their history. If you see in the West, great historians such as Herodotus and Thucydides would record history in the format that we are familiar with today. If you open our history textbooks, you'll see the bland and boring historical information presented to us. This was how they recorded it. But in India, historians, or rather, I should say, court poets, recorded history in the form of poetry. And as a result, one must understand how to sift through the metaphors and various poetic devices that these poets used to understand the various events that shaped Indian history. Now, one of the main historical absences in Indian history is military history, because it seems Indians did not care about their military achievements and did not record their military history. But this is wrong, especially with interest in South India. If you look at the ancient Sangam poems, one will find that there are numerous instances of battles being fought and numerous instances where the poets have specified the tactics used in said battles, which can help us piece together a military history of South India at least. One such event that I'm going to talk about today is the Battle of Veni, fought by Karigala Sora. This battle took place at around 220 to 200 BCE in ancient South India, which was known as Tamilagam. Now, this battle took place due to a variety of reasons, but to understand said reasons, one must understand the life of Karigala Sora. When Karigala Sora was just a child, his father, Ilamchad Chenni, passed away, leaving a power vacuum which was taken advantage of by neighboring small time rulers. These rulers, known as Velirs, took advantage of the power vacuum, placed Karigala Sora under house arrest, and basically ran the empire. Ancient Tamilagam was divided into three main kingdoms: the Cholas, who ruled the east, the Pandyas, who ruled the south, and the Cheras, who ruled the west. Central Tamil Nadu was in the hands of small time regional kings known as Velirs, who, more often than not, fought amongst each other and allied themselves with one of the three major powers. Karigala Sora was placed under house arrest, but he did not like this arrangement, obviously. So, what he did was he basically escaped his imprisonment, found allies, and in a daring and surprise attack, he scaled the walls of his palace and chased out all the Valirs who had taken power and regained the throne. This attack allowed him to regain his capital and his kingdom, but the Velis who returned to their kingdoms, their own kingdoms, were trying to form a rebellion against Karigala. Therefore, he led his armies into their territories and devastated said territories to ensure that they would remain loyal to him. Now, Karigala Sora realized that while he was invading the other Velir kings, the Pandyan king, Nanmaran, had decided that it was time to appropriate Chola territories while Karigala was distracted with another war. Karigala, returning from his invasions, found that several Chola forts had been captured by the Pandyan king, and realizing that he wasn't strong enough to directly challenge the Pandyan king, instead decided upon an indirect method of retaliation. He attacked the Pandyan ally of Irango and completely devastated their territories. This had two purposes. The first purpose was obviously to seek revenge for the actions taken by the Pandyan king in attacking Chola forts. And the second reason was actually to bring the Pandya king into war. So basically, if you attack a major power's ally, that power would be compelled to declare war against you in retaliation. Otherwise, it would look like a coward that could not protect its allies. So Karigala wanted to bring the Pandyan king into war but did not want to directly invade the Pandyan kingdom, which would have destroyed his army. So this was the tactic that he used. But the tactic actually bore fruit in a way that Karigala had not planned. Because the Pandyan king Nanmaran realized the same thing, that if in retaliation he invaded the Chola territories, the home ground advantage of the Cholas would allow them to win the battle quite easily. Therefore, what he did was create a network of all the Velirs that had been attacked by Karigala, and these were in total 11 Velir kings who decided to join Nanmaran, and also he called the Chera emperor Perum Jeraladan to his side. The Velirs who had been attacked, some of them were actually allied with the Chera king. So the Chera king was already pretty angry at Karigala for his actions, and now that an alliance was being formed against him, he decided he would join it. Karigala, upon realizing that a combined enemy force was marching into his kingdom, decided to hold the city of Urandai, which is modern day Urayur near the city of Tanjavur. He built a lot of forts in this region and decided to hold there. But the subsequent battles fought over there actually ended up going the Allies' way, and Karigala was forced to retreat to his port city slash capital of Kaveri Pumpattinam. Now, the Allies decided they would invade further and capture Kaveri Pumpattinam as well. And on their way, they captured the town of Veni, which was famous for its alcohol. So here, the Allied soldiers were basically getting themselves drunk thinking they had already won the war. But they made a fatal miscalculation. Karigala Sora had already proven himself to be a tenacious ruler who did not give up. Thus, this war was definitely not over. Using the time that the allies had given him, Karigala basically regained his strength, got reinforcements, and created a new army with which he was going to attack the allies. Making a swift march towards the town of Beni, Karigala Sora appeared in front of the gates. Now, if an enemy was challenging you in the open field, it was considered cowardly to remain behind inside a fort, especially when the enemy had a smaller army than you. Remember, the confederation allied against Karigala had a way larger force than Karigala did, and therefore they decided it was not prudent to stand inside the fort and defend against Karigala's attacks when his army was much smaller. Plus, it was also a chance to destroy Karigala on the field, because in the past, if you remember, Karigala had fought from forts, and as a result, they were unable to capture his entire army. So here on the open field, they could probably use his superior numbers to surround Karigala and prevent him from escaping as he had done before. So now Karigala was offering them an open battle on the field, and the allies accepted. They came out of the fort and decided to basically take the fight. But what happened was, Karigala was an astute tactician. So what he did was, he basically, if you guys have seen Avengers Endgame, he basically followed Thanos' advice. He went for the head. He knew he had a smaller army, so the only chance of winning was a swift attack on the vanguard of the enemy forces at the center and basically destroy the center and split the enemy army in two. So even if the enemy army is numerous, if you destroy the center of the army, the enemy army will basically get scared and begin routing. So this was Karigala's plan, and he himself led this attack, sitting upon his elephant and basically carrying a bow and shooting arrows. So he himself led this attack, and his soldiers, his foot soldiers who followed him, carried spears and were basically a formidable sight, whose swift and brutal attack actually split the enemy center and split the enemy army in two. And his plan was actually working out perfectly. But the enemy king Perum Jeraladan realized that if this happened, his army would melt away. So he basically gathered the elephant troops of the allied forces and made a counterattack upon the enemy. And there was actually a single combat taking place between Perum Jeraladan and Karigala Soran. And this is actually a very famous incident. So these both were basically trying to push past each other, and basically Perum Jeraladan was trying to stop Karigala's advance, and Karigala was trying to kill Perum Jeraladan and split the enemy army in two. So these both were basically, having a single combat. Meanwhile, the elephants of the allied army, made an attack upon the Chola center, but found that the Chola center had strong spearmen who basically formed deep phalanxes and were impenetrable. So the elephants were forced to retreat because, otherwise they would get killed. So the attack of the Cheras had failed, and the Chera king actually turned around to retreat along with his army, but Karigala Sora hurled a spear or shot an arrow or something, and this caused a wound on his back, which was considered extremely disgraceful in ancient Tamil Nadu. So, in ancient Tamil Nadu, if you got a wound on your back, it meant that you were running away from the enemy, and this was considered extremely disgraceful in the martial culture of Tamil Nadu. So, the king decided, I can't live with this disgrace, and he committed suicide. And many of his commanders and warriors did the same thing, and the allied army was completely destroyed, and the rest of the people who did not commit suicide actually ran away to avoid being killed by the Chola soldiers. So in this battle, Karigala Sora proved himself to be a very able tactician. So he knew that his army was small and weak, and therefore he decided upon a swift attack that would seal the deal. Now, if the attack had been bogged down by the counter attack of Perum then this would have spelled disaster for Karigala because this would give enough time for the rest of the allied army to surround him. But Karigala Sora managed to keep his center strong, his spearmen stayed put and prevented the elephants of the counter-attack from breaking through their lines and routed them. So the counter-attack failed, and Karigala was able to push forward with his attack and split the enemy army and basically caused the death of one of their major commanders, Perum as well as many of his top commanders and soldiers, and thus managed to win the battle. At the end of this battle, Karigala Sora was able to actually destroy the enemy army, pursue them to their own territories, cause a lot of destruction, and basically managed to consolidate the Chola Empire, which would be greatly expanded by his descendants. Thus, the future successes of the Chola country are actually due to Karigala's early victory in the Battle of Venni. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe. And I will see you later. So basically this video is part of my ongoing series to expose the real history of India, history that has been forgotten. And if you are a history fan like I am, please subscribe, please share, please do your own research. Tell me if you find anything, make your own videos. Basically try to ensure that the history of India or the history of your nation, if you're not an Indian, if your history has been forgotten or has been brushed aside, please do make an effort to bring it out into the light. Thank you.